Welcome to yet another episode. This episode is going to be the last one in this series, which is going to be us drawing Rowlet, um, and who actually evolves into a Datrix, and finally a Decidueye. I can't. I think it's a Decidueye. I don't know what it is called, but this is a Pokemon that I actually do really love. So we're going to go this Pokemon. If you want to know what inspired it, is the fact that I actually caught the entire Pokemon and I actually evolved it in one day. In one day, I caught the Pokemon and evolved it. And so I was intrigued and said I have to draw all three of them in this series. And these draw alongs with similar art are actually for you guys. I had to make these videos because I really enjoyed catching and playing this Pokemon in Pokemon Go. So what we're gonna do to draw the Decidueye, or whatever you pronounce it as, Pokemon names are really hard. Everybody knows that. I'm just going to try to capture the proportions right fast. So she or he has this wing open out all the way. Is what I'm trying to draw here, and he has a coat that goes over the wing. I can try to draw that cutting across here in order for me to get the likeness of hers or his likeness. And now he has this hair that goes off of his head with his face pointing the opposite direction. So a lot is going on in these Pokemon features, and of course this is expected because this is the last form of evolution for this Pokemon. You can see the bow tie is not a bow tie anymore like it was in the first two episodes. Now it's an X kind of marks the spot right here. So I'm going to show where I want that to be. And at this point, I just want to get the proportions right. So this happens in all my work. When I'm drawing, I have to make sure I get the proportions right. And when I get the proportions right, then I can go ahead and add the details or build on the details as we go by. But first of all, you have to get the proportions right. So now it looks like we got the wing right, and we got this wing going down this way right as well. It's going and becoming small as it goes down. I can delete some of those lines, they're kind of confusing. And now the body, I want where the wings on the head end, and he has all legs, all legs in there, starting from all the way up, going to the feet, and this is all legs in there. This goes up that way, goes the opposite direction, and this goes down to meet the foot. And this actually goes and touches where the jacket cuts across to make the wing that goes all the way down. Has a tail in there that is shown in the middle of the legs going down here all the way to the foot. So now the wing starts off going this way, and now we have a button of trying to map in the wings as they go all the way up this way. So now I think I actually got my proportions right on the first try. So now the next problem is going to be us trying to map out all the features. So now that we got the proportions right, let's go deep into the features. And this is now when it's going to get tough and tougher because everything is going to be pointed at this from this moment on. So usually I choose where to start from, and now I'm gonna start on the head. I go here. I'm gonna start on the head area. I'm gonna bring that in the jacket. So I will draw lines first to mark where the pointy uh, hair is on his head. And let me see, there's 1, 2, 3 points. So one, the first one towards his shoulder is small, and the second one is kind of long, and the third one is the ultimate on the on the top of the head right there. So now we could carve them in and see if I got them right. Sometimes it's actually a very good thing to concentrate on that one part, especially after getting your proportions right. Now you have the freedom to concentrate on that one part of the drawing, because what happens is you need all the details. You don't want to lose anything in the sauce. So this actually is not as rounded as it is as I was drawing it. It goes in a little bit and then it cuts across. And if you're just coming in here, this is your first time on this channel, you're welcome. And thank you for joining us. And please consider subscribing, liking this video, sharing it. But liking is very important, because when you like this video, it shows YouTube that what we're doing here is actually good, and it will actually suggest this video to other people like us who love Pokemon. So guys, please go ahead and like the video and subscribe as well, and let other people know that this is where it's at. This is where we struggle to draw them all, draw all the Pokemon. All right, so now I'm drawing this wing on his head. He has a little thing on his head that is actually cute, is what I'm trying to indicate here. And I think I got it right. So what is going to go ahead and happen also, what I was saying to the new viewers, that if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also, the other thing is that if you have not seen the new series of the Pokemon that we're drawing in traditional format, we're drawing them in pencil, markers, and also uh, pen. So you could go ahead and check those out. I'll leave some of those to the links in the section below. And those ones are actually, that's where you actually contribute to this channel, because you choose what Pokemon to draw next. I usually give priority to the people who comment first. And for now, we have drawn only, I think, 3 Pokemon there. But you could go check those out. They are actually really fun to draw them in a traditional manner, not in a digitally like this. This we're drawing on Procreate. We're drawing on Procreate on an iPad Pro. But it's kind of intriguing to also see them drawn in a traditional way with pencil and paper. And those ones, you could check those ones out. The videos are up for those ones as well. So now we had the shoulder off a little bit here. We're gonna go ahead and extend it. And I'm now trying to draw the hardest part, which is the Decidueye's face. And that's what I'm trying to draw right now. It carves in, has a lot of spikes in there. This is a cute Pokemon. Um And if you did not watch the episode where we were actually catching this Pokemon, you should go ahead and check it out. Besides these draw alongs, there is a whole lot of videos of me catching this Pokemon with the speed painting on painted on those videos. So you can check those out as well. They'll help you get a little bit more insight on this Pokemon, because in those videos we actually also learn about these Pokemons. So in those videos we also learn about these Pokemon. So you don't only learn how to draw the Pokemon, but you also learn what this Pokemon is, what it eats, what it likes, what its weaknesses are, and and you know, the general information about this Pokemon from the official Pokédex. But in this series we just are drawing along, and of course chitty chatting. So I'm still struggling with the main part of this Pokemon, which is her face. That is really giving me a hard time here. But if I don't capture the face, then it means I will not have captured the liking of the Pokemon. So I drew an eye in there. And now let's draw her mouth, which is going to be cutting across like this. Yep, that looks pretty good. And then we're going to be drawing it, bringing it down here to touch the bottom of the face. There's a line that is cutting across from these spikes going all the way in, like so. And to round off her beak like that. So that's really, really beautiful. That's all captured. And trust me, at this point, I think I've drawn more than 300 Pokemon. If you take both my small little book of Pokemon and you take um my little small book of Pokemon and you take the catch and learn Pokemon and you take the new project that we're doing where we're drawing them on paper, um I must have drawn more than 200 Pokemon. So I know what features to look out for in order for me to be able to actually draw the likeness of that of each Pokemon. This is the first time I'm drawing a Decidueye though, so this is really, really a hard one. It's a bummer. It's bumming me out, but it's pretty interesting, guys, and I hope you all are learning to draw them. This draw along is not for professional drawers. It's for all of us, the beginners, where we just learn how to draw. And there we go. We captured her face. So now what we're gonna go ahead and do, we're starting to map in her clothes. We're gonna start with the jacket here. It has a few spikes on it. There is two of them before you get to the bow tie. All that is important, guys. That's, I don't know about you when you're drawing, but for me when I'm drawing, that's what I'm looking out for, especially with these pointed characters where you know it's supposed to be looking exactly the way it is. Otherwise it would be a different type of Pokemon you're trying to draw. So I always count those. I put those into consideration. For example, how many spikes are there before you go to this, how many hairs are here before you go up that way, where does the bow tie go until. All those are the clues that I get while I'm drawing that actually help me to create the type of work that you see on this channel. Again, welcome back. It's Simio Art. It's K here for Simio Art. And we're still going. In this last form of evolution, we move from bow tie to a total X marks the spot for a decision. There we go. And there it is. We mapped it in. So, again, if you got your proportions right, all this is going to be a lot easier for you to just blend in because you at first paid attention to where the proportions are supposed to be starting and where they're supposed to be ending. So, these ones, you will just know I need to draw this over there, and you try to struggle it out and draw it where it's supposed to go. But if you got the proportions right to begin with, everything will just fall into place after some time. And of course, with a little bit of practice, you'll be able to draw any type of Pokemon that you want to draw. And for this series, we're drawing all the Pokemon the way they appear in the official Pokédex. So we're not changing anything. We're just redrawing it the way it appears in the official Pokédex. So here on the bow tie, there is another spike coming off of it. And it has a little flower on it right there that goes in her wing that she's spreading out all the way this way. All right. She's spreading her wing out all the way this way. There we go. That looks pretty posh if you ask me. So it looks like we're capturing this Pokemon really, really good. Yeah, it's starting to come out pretty good. So now, wing, face, and jacket is done. We're gonna go for the body before we go to the right wing that she's spreading out. So I'm gonna go ahead and map in the body, which is almost all leg here. Almost all leg. These ones go, they become a little bit wider as they go down to meet the foot, and the foot goes off of that. And of course, it's a bird or an old foot, so it creates that character. Now, that's the right leg, so now let's go and map in the left leg. A little bit of erasing there. Left leg is kind of slanted on this side, but gets huge as it goes down, and it stems right out of her jacket to come and complete all the way where it touches the foot. And we have two drapes on it down here. So those look good. And I can map in her foot on this side as well. I think I may need to decrease the whole size of the entire Pokemon like that in order for me to have more space uh, for the foot. Now, that, my friend, is the beauty of digital drawing, because if we were drawing on pen and paper, there is absolutely no way you could do that, because everything is written in ink. Whatever you put down is done and you cannot change it. But if you're drawing digitally, you can actually, you have a lot of tools at your discretion to do whatever you want. Even the erasing and doing and doing is a lot easier. So digital drawing is kind of the way to go. All right, so there we go. The feet are all set. So everything looks like it's coming out pretty good. And I'm not gonna sweat the tiny details so much for now, but I'm gonna go ahead and map in everything to begin with so we can complete this sketch. So now we're gonna go to where it's all going to be concentration. So we have 8 wing separations that we're gonna need to put in this section here. So we have one in there already, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9. Ooh, I want 8. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete those. I want only 8, not 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So they get smaller as they go up this way. So let me draw the smallest first. And then as we go down, this is a little bit shorter. The next one is a little bit more protruded out. The next one, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The fourth one is actually smaller, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth one is a little bit more pointed. Sixth one is a little bit more pointed, even though it's bigger. And number 7 points down a lot to allude into number 8, which is pointing all the way down. And there you go. So counting helps, mapping helps, um, everything. I'm just, You guys don't know, but you're getting into my head and how I create my work. And all these, if you need them, if I'm any kind of inspiration to you, all this should be helping you out if you draw along with me to try to learn how to draw any type of Pokemon, especially for this series, which is the same exact kind of knowledge that I use when I'm doing any type of drawing, not just Pokemon drawing. Um, I have to also talk about my coloring books, guys. If you haven't seen those are on Amazon. I have coloring books as high as $10 and as low as $2. So I'm gonna leave the link to my Amazon store in the comment section below, and you can go ahead, not in the comment section, I'll leave it in the description, and you can go ahead and grab yourself any of those that will be helpful to me. So I'm going to go ahead and cut across with this. It's supposed to come over here. And of course, what are we going to do? We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is 5 of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those are kind of smaller. And whatever I put the line, I'm going to make it go in there like that. They're kind of smaller and they cut across this way. These are all the details that she has in the wing that she's actually spreading out. But there's no line in here. So we're going to go ahead and delete that. That will all be helpful when it's time for us to actually do the inking. So, because those are the clues that we follow. And looks like we're actually doing pretty good over here. So what's going to go ahead and happen? We're going to go ahead and now start drawing the top part of this spread out wing. And I'm going to go ahead and delete that extra line in there. It's just for nothing. There we go. So on this spread out wing, we're going to go ahead and draw. It has 3 pointer fingers on it, but only 2 coming out like this. So that one is going to go over there, and we're going to draw one more on it that is a little bit more rounded to come and meet this wing. So this wing, we're going to need to give it another line in order for them to attach over here like this. There we go. Your likeness is there, guys. That's our Decidueye. That's our version of a Decidueye. Remember, guys, every Pokemon that you draw, you add to your arsenal of learning how to draw any Pokemon. So sometimes you should not sweat so much the stuff, but you should. It's all in the details and the likeness. For as long as somebody can look at your sketch and say, "Oh, that's a Decidueye. That's your version of a Decidueye." Decidueye, or whatever it is. And there we go, guys. We finished the sketch. So now the next level is going to be us actually going ahead. So now what we do now is we add another layer on top of that one, and we go on the sketch layer and actually drop down the opacity tremendously. And we're going to change the color to an inking, the pen to an inking technical pen. And that's it. We're gonna hammer down to try to ink this sketch. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start on the wing this time. And these wings are actually rounded like this, so they should be a lot easier for us to ink, because we're gonna need one loop like that in Procreate. Hold it down a little bit, and Procreate will give you a very good rounded wing out of holding down for a bit like that. So that is really, really helpful while you draw. And at that point, after you figure that out, you just have to hammer down and try to finish all the wings. It is already looking good. And usually, if I am creating a coloring book, after I ink, that's it. I don't go any further. It's just the inking part, that the inked sketch that I actually take and make as a page in the coloring book. And you're going to see most of my coloring book, my, all my coloring books are the same, drawn in Procreate. And they have at least uh, 50 drawings in each, so you get enough work for your buck with my coloring books. So this one is a straight line-ish. That's not very straight, so it's a little bit of a bend, and Procreate will give it to you like that as well. So that's looking really good. I gotta go ahead and round this off as well. And the bottom part of the wing is done. These ones are gonna be 2 lines for each wing. Actually, 3 lines. Two for the curvature down and one little slanted line for the curvature up. And that's not good. There we go. That's good. That looks pretty good to me. Oh, what I can do to have that top line looking the same in all these residual wings, what I'm gonna do is, oops, we're losing power here. What I'm gonna do is I'll draw one line up here, and after that one line, actually let me delete this part. Oops, that's a very huge eraser right there. I'm gonna go ahead and take those ones out first, and I'll bring one line to go across like this. That's perfect, but I just have to delete these parts out. Oops, that's big. I don't know why I have a very huge eraser, like I'm struggling for the world's biggest eraser here. So, just as always, I always mention, art is trial and error and finding what actually works for your drawing. There is no drawing that is always gonna have. You can have a system and know this is how I draw, these are the steps I have to follow in order for me to have a good drawing, but it does not mean that you're going to go through that on every um, piece that you make. Every piece that you make is going to have its own kind of work that you put into it in order for you to get the curves and things everywhere that you want them, the way you want them. It's not always going to be the same, but through those trial and errors, you come up with your own system of drawing everything and satisfactorily knowing that you actually have drawn what you want to draw. So that looks good over there. I'm going to go ahead and draw her bow tie. Her bow tie has 4 pieces to it. And this is gonna come from up here. And it has an X in the middle of it. This is bent a little bit. There we go. That looks pretty good. So now we could do the body. After you have your sketch tied down, at that point it doesn't matter what you do mapping fast when you're inking. You can go at your own pace because at that point you have everything that you need down. So now I have everything that I need down. I just have to go with whatever I want. It doesn't matter what goes fast, what goes next. You just know you'll get to all of it at one point. And it has kind of a thick part here on the nail area of the foot. So that is what I was trying to emphasize over there. And thank God for digital drawing is that you can have, you could zoom in and zoom out at the same time. So you can capture the details the way you want them to be captured. Just because of that zoom that you will not get on traditional drawing. Speaking of that, if you haven't watched my traditional drawing of all the Pokemon that you guys suggest on one piece of paper, one gigantic piece of paper, you should go ahead and check it out. I have it linked in the description of this video. She has a jacket that is running across all the way like this. And a little bit of a tail over there. Now there's 2 tail feathers that we actually missed. There is one that is coming from her foot over here and going up in her legs. Like so. And one that is actually coming from the foot area and going up here to attach to this one. Like so. So that's cute. This is a one shot out here. Oops, that did not come out right. That looks good. With this coming out like this. And now one line all the way from the jacket going down like this. Wow, that's good of me. I got that almost in one shot. I'm gonna need to repair that a little bit up here, but that was really cool with some of these surroundings and another one around this area here. All right, so now I'm gonna go on the top part of the jacket and try to map that in as well. We know where every line is supposed to go, we just have to ink it in. That's pretty good. This side of the jacket as well. And up here. There we go. It started to look out pretty good, and I saved the best for last. This is going to be her face. This is the hardest part, and I saved it for last. And the iPad is dying, everybody. The iPad is dying. So, what I'm gonna do is I may have to pause this, go get some juice, and after that, then we could go back to finishing up our drawing, which is going to be um, throwing colors in. And as in the first two episodes, what we usually use for that is we have the color picker technology out. We use a color picker. We use the color picker to get all our colors from the reference image. So that way we don't have to fight too much with the color palette of this Pokemon. This is more pointed than I actually drew it in the sketch, so I'm gonna go ahead and push it farther that way, like so, and then bring this over here like that. So this comes off of that as well, like that, pointed here, and one single shot all the way down. It has an inner part. And this one as well goes over like that. These are more rounded than I actually have them in the sketch, so I have to pay attention to these. Uh, pay much more attention to them. But all in all, if you have a nice sketch to begin with, the rest of everything will fall into space for you in a very good way. So now we can go ahead and map in the eyes. But guys, uh, I don't want to lose the recording. So what's gonna go ahead, since we're dying, we're below 5%. I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here, and I'll be back, finish up the inking, and also start the coloring. So I'll be right back.